Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Hard Truth. Today, I want to talk about who could have been framed for the Idaho 4 murder besides Brian Coburger. And I also want to prove that the timeline of the PCA is what the British would call rubbish. Okay? If you would like to hear my take on the timeline and who really was framed for the Idaho 4 murder, hey, tune in. Grab that iced coffee, an iced tea, or whatever you enjoy as we begin our story. Maddie and Kaylee were at the Grove truck. As you can see from the timestamp, there's a little piece of it cut off. At 1:46 and 53 seconds, they were still waiting on their food. So it's most likely that they didn't get to Main Street, and if they caught a ride with somebody, it's likely that they got home a little after 2 a.m. Here's a post from November 23rd from a University of Idaho student or someone affiliated with the school stating, "I just found out my remote photography group has video from a tripod that was stationed behind the house. It recorded from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and shows a woman running from the side of the house as a truck entered the driveway. She ran away from the house and right by our tripod at approximately, but not completely accurate or exactly, roughly 2 a.m. Okay, so it probably was a little after 2 a.m. And also, Eden Harsh also mentioned a black truck or black SUV parked between the house and his apartment. Okay, so that's not the first time we heard about the black truck. And also, I believe it was Bethany that was running a little after 2 because the killers were at the house, things had jumped off, and she sensed that her life was in danger, and so she left. By 2:10, or at the very latest 2:15, Ethan and Xana were already being attacked. Okay, and at this time, Bethany was gone, and Maddie and Katie were just arriving home. And when they arrived home, they realized, what was jumping off. All right. And they started calling Jack D for help.
6 calls from her sister Kaylee's phone between 2:26 and 2:52 made to a boyfriend in the early morning of November 13th.
By this time, Murphy was already locked away in Kaylee's room when Kaylee and Maddie arrived home. Uh, Xana and Ethan were already being attacked, and the dog was already squared away. Meanwhile, at 2:44 a.m., Coburger was on camera still in Pullman. Okay? He was still in Pullman, and then I'll get to whether he knew what was going on or not in just a minute. Meanwhile, look what's going on in front of the house. Okay?
Seen walking in this video, this body camera footage near the crime scene. Do we have anything that we can get out of that? I mean, how could it possibly be unrelated when it was so close to the house?
It isn't unrelated. There were 4 people who were close to the house around the time of the murders. It could be completely innocuous and innocent. It was a Saturday night, or actually Sunday morning, but college kids are out and about. There were frat houses nearby. There were parties going on. It could have been kids trying to avoid being arrested for underage drinking, like the kids who were being arrested that we see in this body cam video. So we don't know who those 4 are. Obviously, police want to find them and ask them. They might have seen something. They might have heard something. They might have seen the car that they're now looking for. So obviously, I can't imagine police haven't been trying to track these 4 people down or that these four people haven't actually come forward to say, we were in the area that night and here's what we saw, or here's what we didn't see. So obviously police want to talk to it is related, Adrian. It's just a matter of how.
Okay, while everybody's tiptoeing around outside, okay, acting suspicious, maybe looking out for the police, or actually looking to see if the crime is gonna be committed like the people said they were gonna do. At 2:53, Brian Coburger is turning his phone off in Pullman. And this could be because a lot of people are calling him about the murders. Okay? He told us, uh, according to his lawyer, that he said, yes, certainly I'm aware of what's going on. I'm 10 miles away from this. So if everybody was calling everybody about the murders before they called police, why wouldn't they call Brian Coburger? He's a PhD criminology student. He's a teacher's assistant. He knows a lot of students at WSU. And he knows probably students at University of Idaho that are his colleagues taking the same discipline. So why wouldn't they call him? So maybe he turned his phone off. It was, too many people calling about it. Or maybe he burned up his battery talking to him on the phone about it. Who knows? But it's possible. Anyway, at this time, I believe by 3:30, all four of the Idaho four were deceased. All right, and the cover-up was in motion. By 3:30, everybody was deceased. Okay, the dog was locked up in the room. Bethany was gone. Where Dylan was is going to be the next episode. That's the only base that I haven't covered here. And there's another base that I still need to cover in this video. So at 3:30, everybody's deceased. All right, everybody's on the phone talking about it. There's people crawling around outside the house. Okay, Bethany's gone. And so the cover up is in motion. The next thing that I want to propose is that a part of the cover up was planting the knife sheath for Jack Showalter to be framed. And the reason why they left the sheath was because Jack Showalter is known to hunt. He's known to have a K-bar knife. He's in a picture with a K-bar knife with a dead animal. So it will be very easy for people to believe that he did it. And they didn't like him anyway. He got kicked out of the frat because they didn't like him. And so he would be the perfect fall guy. And it's even possible that they wanted to frame him and Adam. But either way, it didn't work out that way. And so guess what you have to do now? Stay tuned for part 2.